Hello, my friends. Andy Kennedy here with Inner Self Lightworks, coming to you for the ninth and final insight of the Celestine Prophecy by James Redfield. As you know, this is the foundation of our course for manifesting with synchronicity, and this is 1 through 9 insights from this one book are all of our foundation. They're crammed into 6 units in manifesting with synchronicity, and I've been giving these highlight videos from these chapters, from these insights for you for the last 9 weeks. And so I'm excited to bring you the 9th insight, which is titled The Emerging Culture. And as I have said, I said this in the 8th, and I've said this before in multiple videos, the even numbers, the 2, 4, 6, and 8, are all about kind of that interpersonal way we communicate, way we get energy, our connection to others. And the odd numbers, 1, 3, 5, 7, and 9, are really all about ourselves. But 9 takes that to the next level. It's really about how we plug in to the quantum field and the energy, and some really magical stuff happens in this chapter. And this is definitely a fiction novel, but Redfield read countless books. I think it's over 40 books to write this one book. So there is this underlying weave of personal development and that sort of spiritual development theme for this book that you'll recognize if you've been following any of the grades over the last 50 years. You'll recognize some of these themes in this book and the messages and the teachings from a lot of the greats that you've read, So there's a lot crammed into this wee story for sure. The 9th insight really underscores us connecting, like I said, to the quantum field and the beauty that's all around us. And the concept, and I'm going to read this just so it's very clear, the more we evolve, the higher we vibrate. So if we're stuck in negative thinking and negative energy and the news and the media and fear, we're not evolving. And the more we evolve, the more we focus on beauty and love and gratitude and the lessons for us and why we're here, our dharma, for instance, and focus on all of those things, the higher we vibrate, the faster we vibrate. And when our vibration is high and our energy is vibing high, then really everything opens like a gateway for us. We get the messages, we get the connections, we get the ways that we are supposed to move forward. The path becomes illuminated, and it all seems to fall into place. So for those people who are around you, where you're like, oh, everything is always working out for that person, trust me, it's because they're doing the work. It doesn't come easy. We have 80,000 thoughts a day, and 80% of them are negative. So if we're focusing on that, then we're drawing more of that to ourselves. So this chapter really teases that out. And what I love about this chapter is really the additional reminders for us. It's almost like a series of steps that we take to raise our vibration and to connect into the quantum field and to receive the messages. So I'm going to read to you some of the highlights from this section. And I'm reading from the teacher's manual because there is one, which is pretty cool. Not all of these concepts are spelled as clearly in the book. And so that's why taking the course Manifesting with Synchronicity with us is so helpful, because we go through his actual teaching manual. So, unfolding destiny. Again, that is our dharma. That is where we are meant to be, why we came, why we incarnated this time around, and it's our need for meaningfulness and purposefulness. We need to slow down in order to receive those messages, in order to get direction and get those insights, and then we'll be able to evolve, right? So that's unfolding destiny, living on the earth. So the other big piece of this insight is all about sustainability, which is truthfully what speaks to me and has spoken to me for a long time in this book, and why even before I started teaching this course, I always came back to this book, because some of the greats that he read are not just the spiritual leaders. They are the planners and the sustainable leaders on our planet in this day and age. And so talking about sacred sites and green technology, and all of this, again, this is an odd number chapter, the ninth, or odd number insight, the ninth chapter. So all of that is unfolded magically in the 11th insight. And I'm going to talk about 10, 11, and 12 at the end of this video, so stick around for that. So energizing plants, which we talked about in the third insight, how to breathe into nature and plants and give them energy. And we do that on our indoor gardens all the time, guided by our intuition. So all of that is living on the earth. The next great shift, which maybe we're in right now, because this book was written in the early 90s, so over 30 years ago, or about 30, a little under, I should say, 30 years ago, but over 25 years ago, which is amazing. So this great shift has been in people's vision for a long time, which is pretty cool. In this next millennium, so he talks about obviously the 21st century, which we're in, voluntarily limiting production to avoid overpopulation, reproduction, excuse me. So very interesting. Money is another form of energy, which we talk about a lot in abundance concepts and abundance mindset and flow. So it talks here about energy flow as well. The automation of goods, you'll seeing a lot more about this is the automation age that we're in right now, which follows the technology age. Releasing our fear of scarcity, so back to abundance. Everyone's time freed up because of that. So working different jobs, working from home. We're seeing a lot of that right now, which is interesting. Consuming more consciously, right? You've heard the term zero waste. I was a part of the zero waste movement here in Steamboat, Colorado for a long time. So that's a huge part of this as well. And so that's part of the next great shift. The next one is really focusing on spirituality and having our evolutionary leap and using our gifts as well. So I'm jumping forward here because I'm already at 7 minutes. But really, the last of this is formulating a new type of humanity. And definitely, we all know that we're kind of in that to win that right now for sure. Connecting with our global, supporting our global community, rising up against tyranny, and focusing on the things that we can locally as well as globally to make this world a better place to live in. And how do we do that on a planet that is really struggling to support us right now? And we have to do that consciously. So that is what this emerging culture chapter is all about. I'm just going to flip through some of the extra stuff here to make sure that I've gotten all of this, at least for you, for this short video. Of course, like I said, we tease all of this out in Manifesting with Synchronicity. So I hope that in 2022, you consider doing this deep dive workshop with us, because it's such an amazing course. I've poured my heart and soul into it. So that's the 9th insight. And that is 1 through 9. That concludes the shorter videos in this series. So those are all 1 through 9 from the Celestine Prophecy. But we have 3 books that came out after the Celestine Prophecy. We have the 10th insight, which is Holding the Vision. We have The Secret of Shambhala, which is the 11th insight. Perhaps my favorite insight of all. I think it is. There are so many parts of that weave through the rest of this, so it's really hard to say. And then, of course, the 12th. And the 12th insight came out in 2012, and that book is the reason that I decided that I needed to teach these concepts for you. So these 3 books are all each their own insight. And I am going to cover these 3 books individually in their own videos. They'll be longer, probably more like 15-minute videos, maybe even longer, maybe 20, to try and get all of the concepts in there as well. And so look for those to come in the coming weeks, which is really exciting, to also promote the advanced course, which you can get now. If you purchase Manifesting with Synchronicity, you get our advanced course in which you get to go through these in-depth, higher-level insights with me at your own pace, just like with Manifesting with Synchronicity. But you're gifted that for free. It's one of our bonuses that we're running right now, as well as of course, a session with me. and all of the other stuff that's included in this magnificent course. You get the course for your lifetime, so you always have access to that, and all of the concepts, all of the worksheets, all of the affirmations. And speaking of affirmations, we just recently launched our 21 days of affirmations. So check that out. It's just $21 to start. We do have a sliding scale, so if you can pay a little more than that and you want to, great, to support what we do. But I'm really excited to have sort of plucked that out of Manifesting with Synchronicity and given you guys that for the holiday season, because I want you to have a healthy mindset during the holiday season. And what better way to do that than with affirmations? So that concludes this first part of this series. Thank you for watching. Thanks for being a part of our YouTube channel, or wherever you're watching this video from. Maybe you get our newsletters and our updates in your inbox. You can go to innerselflightworks.com to sign up for that. All of our stuff is on that website there, as well as more about our courses, which will then take you over to Thinkific, which is where our course platform resides. So follow us on Instagram and Facebook as well if you're on there. And much love and happy holidays to you. Take care.